Hello everyone, today we're counting down 20 of the best roguelike strategy games that will hook you for hours, with deep systems, smart decisions, and runs that never feel the same twice. If you love strategy games that start with just one more turn and suddenly steal your entire night, this video is for you. Well, let's get into the list. Inkbound is an incredibly dense turn-based roguelike strategy, with engaging combat, loads of build options, and the ability to play with friends. You can play solo or with up to 4 players online. The game is built around turn-based battles inside small arenas where you fight enemies, earn rewards, and move on to tougher fights and bosses. This loop sounds simple, but it never feels boring. In combat, you can move and attack in any order you want. You see enemy attack zones shown as circles and shapes on the floor, and your job is to avoid them while planning your own attacks. You use action points to move, strike enemies, or use special skills. This freedom makes every fight feel like a puzzle you solve with movement and timing, not just button pressing. Nordhold is one of the most interesting tower defense roguelite games. In Nordhold, you manage a small Nordic village and defend it from waves of fantasy monsters. Think Vikings, magic, and lots of enemies trying to break through your defenses. Your job is to build towers, choose smart upgrades, and protect your village at all costs. What makes Nordhold special is how replayable it is. Every run feels different. You start each round by choosing a hero, and as you play, you unlock relics that give you economic and defensive bonuses. The core tower defense gameplay is solid and easy to understand, but still deep enough to stay exciting. You'll be mixing and matching towers, heroes, and upgrades to survive tougher and tougher enemy waves. This makes each match feel fresh and challenging. Now I know Void Bastards is an FPS game, but this game has some strategy elements to it. It blends intense, real-time FPS combat with resource management and strategic planning, heavily influenced by System Shock 2 and BioShock. You play as one of many unlucky prisoners revived by an AI on a broken ship. Your job is simple: explore nearby vessels, gather supplies, and find special parts to keep moving forward. The game switches between 2 styles. Inside ships, it's fast and chaotic first-person shooting. Outside, it becomes a space survival journey where fuel and food matter just as much as ammo. Before boarding a ship, you can scan it to see what enemies are inside, what rewards it offers, and what strange conditions it has. Some ships have no security systems. Others are pitch dark or filled with hazards. These little changes make every mission feel different and unpredictable.
They can negotiate with the dirt.
The King is Watching is a roguelite kingdom builder where nothing works unless the king is literally watching it. Yes, your buildings only function when they are inside the king's golden gaze. If the king looks away, everything stops. In this game, you rule a kingdom and must protect it from endless waves of enemies. The main gameplay happens on a grid where you place farms, mines, water pumps, and military buildings. Your goal is simple: survive long enough to defeat the final boss and keep your kingdom standing. There's almost no story here. You are the king. Enemies are coming. Defend your land, that's it. And honestly, this game is more about strategy than storytelling anyway.
I die, I learn, I smash better next time. So, what kind of king will you be? We'll be watching.
From Glory to Goo is a strategy game where you build a colony on a strange alien planet and then try not to get eaten by giant waves of goo. Everything looks peaceful at first with colorful plants and weird creatures, but before long, the goo starts crawling toward your base from every direction. This game mixes real-time strategy, base building, and tower defense. Your job is to manage your people, collect resources, and build strong defenses before the goo takes over. As the enemy gets closer, defense becomes everything. You build walls, towers, and units to stop the endless waves of slime. The attacks never really slow down, so it feels like a constant battle to survive. It's like playing whack-a-mole, except the moles are sticky monsters that really want to destroy your city. Star Traders Frontiers is the most ambitious game ever made by Treese Brothers Games, and it lives up to that challenge beautifully. This is a huge space strategy RPG where you are the captain of your own starship and the galaxy is completely open to you. You can be a trader, a pirate, a smuggler, a bounty hunter, a spy, or a political troublemaker. The choice is always yours. At first, the game feels like a classic space adventure game such as Star Control. You travel from star system to star system, meet other ships, and deal with random events along the way. Sometimes those encounters lead to combat. Other times, they lead to negotiations, disasters, or lucky breaks. Iratus Lord of the Dead is a dungeon crawler with a twist. You don't play as heroes, you play as the villain. You are Iratus, a powerful necromancer who has been freed from his tomb by foolish grave robbers. Now your goal is simple. Send your undead army through dark catacombs, reach the surface, and wipe out all living things. Instead of fighting yourself, Iratus lets his minions do the dirty work while he supports them with dark magic from the back. If you've played Darkest Dungeon, this game will feel familiar. The battles are turn-based, shown from the side, and every fight can be deadly. Your undead troops stand in formation, and their skills depend on where they are positioned. Some attack the front, some the back, and others cause fear and madness instead of physical damage.
Extinction of life.
Lobotomy Corporation is a strange game. It looks simple at first, but it's actually as complicated as building a machine from scratch with no instructions. This is a monster management game inspired by the SCP Foundation. You work for a secret organization that captures dangerous supernatural creatures and locks them in underground cells. Your job is to manage a group of researchers, study these creatures, and try to survive when everything goes wrong. And trust me, everything goes wrong. Your workers enter rooms with these monsters to learn their secrets. Sometimes they come back with useful information, sometimes they come back injured, and sometimes they don't come back at all. Bad North is a roguelite strategy game that proves simple ideas can be incredibly fun. You control small squads of soldiers as they run from an endless wave of invading Vikings. Your army jumps from island to island, trying to protect villages before everything is destroyed. Every house you save gives you gold, and that gold lets you upgrade your troops for the next battle. But there's a catch. If a commander dies, they are gone forever. And if you lose all your commanders, the run is over. The game plays in real time, but whenever you give orders, everything slows down. This makes the game feel calm and thoughtful instead of stressful. Overall, the game is very easy to learn. You can understand it in just a few minutes, but even with its simple design, it becomes surprisingly tactical and addictive. Nine Kings is a roguelike kingdom builder mixed with card battles, and it creates some of the most fun and chaotic runs you'll ever experience. There is no long story in Nine Kings. You play as a king fighting to survive against rival kings controlled by AI. At the start of every run, the game randomly picks 2 enemy kings for you to face. Sometimes this creates a perfect god run where everything clicks together. You begin with one king, called the King of Nothing. Even though the name sounds weak, this king has a very flexible deck of cards, and yes, every king in the game has their own unique deck and their own special base. As you play, you unlock more kings like the King of Spells, Greed, Blood, Nature, Stone, Progress, and Nomads. Each king feels different and plays in their own style. When you level them up, you earn perks that help shape your build and make your kingdom stronger. Shogun Showdown is a roguelike that proves you don't need complicated systems to create deep and exciting combat. The game strips the roguelike genre down to its core. You move across a node-based map, visit shops, unlock new characters and weapons, and fight bosses. There is only one currency, no useless upgrades, no messy systems. Everything is built around combat. This is a turn-based game, but it feels intense and dramatic. You stand in the middle of a small row of tiles, surrounded by enemies. You can move left or right, turn around, and choose attacks from cards at the bottom of the screen. Once you use an attack, it goes on cooldown, so every move must be carefully planned. Each turn, both you and your enemies act at the same time. You can see what the enemies are about to do before they move. Some attacks flash yellow, warning you that danger is coming. One wrong step can mean instant death. Inscryption is both a love letter to card games and a creepy horror puzzle at the same time. It's a card game mixed with an escape room, and it hides many secrets beneath the surface. What starts as a normal card battle slowly turns into something much darker and much stranger. The card game itself is easy to understand, but the real surprise happens when you stand up from the table. Between card battles, you can walk around the cabin like an escape room. You solve puzzles, open safes, and find strange objects. These items help you in card battles, but they also reveal more of the story. The room itself starts to change. New things appear and old things move. It feels like the cabin is alive. Sometimes the puzzles can be confusing, and you might get stuck wondering what to do next. But when you finally solve them, the game opens up in shocking ways. Wildermyth tries something very different from most roguelike games. Instead of focusing only on random combat and loot, it uses roguelike systems to tell stories. Every campaign creates new heroes, new choices, and new adventures. The gameplay loop is simple and steady. You will explore the map, the story pops up like a comic, and then you go into turn-based combat. The combat plays like a classic strategy RPG. Each character belongs to one of three classes: warrior, archer, or spellcaster. The warrior and archer are very basic, but the spellcaster is more interesting. Spellcasters can use the environment itself, throwing furniture, trees, or objects at enemies. This gives you more creative ways to fight and makes battles feel more tactical. For the King 2 is a turn-based strategy RPG that feels like playing a digital tabletop game. Before each chapter begins, you choose special rules that change how the game works, like how fast chaos spreads, how much gear you can carry, and how expensive shops become. Then you pick your party of heroes. Each character has their own strengths, but you're free to build them however you want, even if it's risky. The combat and exploration rely heavily on focus points. You can use focus to move farther, pass skill checks, or make sure attacks hit. Every decision feels important, and one bad move can mean the difference between victory and losing a character.
Elite settlers serving.
Against the Storm is a roguelike city builder that never feels boring. Every run feels fresh, surprising, and full of new challenges. In this game, you build a series of small settlements across a dangerous world. Each settlement lasts until it either succeeds, or until the Scorched Queen loses her patience and declares it a failure. You win by earning reputation points, and every point reduces her impatience. But if settlers die or leave, her impatience rises faster. You gain reputation by completing orders, solving events in the forest, and keeping your settlers happy. It sounds chaotic, and sometimes it is. But over time, you learn how to plan around the chaos. Most settlements last about 1 or 2 hours, making it perfect for one long gaming session. Strategy RPGs and roguelikes are both complicated types of games, and we almost never see them combined. Mixing these two styles sounds nearly impossible. But somehow, Ishtar Games managed to do it with a game called The Last Spell. And honestly, The Last Spell is one of the most stressful, demanding, and brilliantly designed games I've played in a long time. During the day, you rebuild the town. You construct walls, buildings, and defenses. You heal your heroes, upgrade their weapons, and prepare for the night. Everything you do in the daytime is about preparing for what comes next. When night falls, the real test begins. Undead monsters attack from different sides of the map. Skeletons, ghouls, and massive creatures flood toward your walls in huge numbers. Your heroes take turns moving and attacking, and positioning becomes extremely important. One wrong move can leave a hero surrounded and killed. Buckshot Roulette is a roguelike twist on Russian roulette, but instead of a pistol, you use a shotgun. The game's presentation is creepy and unsettling, much like Inscryption. The room feels dark and empty, and the low-resolution graphics make everything look even more disturbing. The rules are simple. At the start of each round, several shotgun shells are loaded. Some are blanks and some are live rounds. You have to remember which is which. Then you must choose to shoot the dealer or shoot yourself. If you fire a live round, someone loses a life. If you fire a blank at yourself, you get another turn. The dealer plays by the same rules. When the shotgun runs out of shells, it reloads and the game continues. You keep playing until you die or survive all 3 levels and walk away with a pile of cash. So the big question is, are you feeling lucky? Darkest Dungeon is a dungeon crawler roguelike game that focuses on high risk, heavy stress, and hard choices. It is cruel and unforgiving, but somehow it always pulls players back for one more run. The game is all about survival. You will send in 4 heroes into dungeon at a time. Each hero has a class, special skills, and a stress meter that can drive them insane. Heroes can panic, become paranoid, or even turn against their teammates. And yes, they can die forever. When a hero falls in battle, they are gone for good. The combat is turn-based, but it feels powerful and dramatic. Each attack zooms in with loud sounds and heavy impact. Every hit feels dangerous, and every critical strike makes your heart sink. Add to that the dark and unsettling art style, and the music makes every battle feel stressful and hopeless. Even though it's an older game, even today, FTL is still one of many people's favorite games to return to. For anyone who are not familiar with this game, in FTL, you control a small spaceship trying to escape across the galaxy. Behind you is a massive rebel fleet that never stops chasing you. Your goal is simple. Jump from system to system, grow stronger, and stay ahead of the fleet. Your ship is made up of many systems, and each one needs a crew member to operate it. You must manage your weapons, shields, engines, repairs, and your crew's safety at the same time. There are many ways to run your ship, and every decision matters. And it's not just the rebel fleet you need to worry about. In addition to that, combat in FTL is deep and tactical. You can use lasers, missiles, drones, and even teleport your crew onto enemy ships. Into the Breach comes from Subset Games, the same developers who made FTL. The game looks like a normal turn-based strategy game, but it doesn't play like one. Instead of just killing enemies, every battle is a puzzle. You can see exactly what the enemies will do next turn, and your job is to stop them with the least damage possible. In this game, you must protect your buildings, keep your mechs alive, and sometimes defend special locations. And often, the best move isn't to attack at all, but to push enemies away, block their spawn points, or even sacrifice your own mech to save the city. It feels less like a normal strategy game and more like playing chess with giant robots. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more exciting new roguelike and roguelite games. That's it, and see you next time.